I absolutely cannot believe that it's been 3 years since the flash mob proposal.
It really seems like it just happened yesterday. I can't believe, to hear the words 3 years is
Where did that
surreal.
even go? So I've always known that I created this fairy tale in my mind that I was going to do some sort of a flash mob proposal, and it just so happened that I met Jared in a spin class, and I was like, it just got my wheels turning. Like, how cool would this be if I could combine that dream that I've had with doing it on the bike, and also knowing so many fabulous people from Joyride who were completely willing and wanting to get involved and actually execute this whole plan. It was the perfect recipe, and it all came together in just the right way.
I think that Adam had mentioned within the first few dates of dating that if marriage was ever going to happen in his life, it had to be a flash mob. I'm pretty sure.
I think I originally told you that I wanted you to do the flash mob to me.
Yes.
But then I quickly realized that there was no way that I could let go of my control issues and let that happen.
It was the scariest. It was the scariest thought I ever had when he said that he wanted a flash mob proposal at one point. He said, "If you're ever going to propose to me, it has to be a flash mob." I was like, I guess we have no choice then.
My initial phone call to Jared's mom, Jan, to ask her permission to go ahead with all of this, her initial reaction was, "Really? Are you sure so soon?" And I remember just kind of sitting back and being like,
She's a very practical woman.
She is very practical, that Jan. But yes, I said, yes, Jan, this is something that I'm 100% certain on, and I would love for you and the entire family to come join us and be a part of the special day. My idea to propose on Valentine's Day, the timing of it happened to come together right around that time, so I figured, why not? It was really great to get my ideas once they were off of paper and put into action, and I was working with just the one woman who was helping with the choreography of everything. Even when it was just her and I working together, it just felt magical. Like, there's something here, and we have to see this all the way through.
In the weeks leading up to the flash mob proposal, I had absolutely no clue what was going on. I had no clue that anything was coming my way. I was trying to prepare mentally to teach a class to a group of my colleagues and peers, which was nerve-wracking enough as it was, and I was stressing out about it to Adam the whole time, complaining about if I was going to say the right things, if I was going to do the right things, and meanwhile, he had a whole other agenda happening underneath it all. I had no clue. Cindy and I started working together back on the very first day when Joyride opened 5 years ago, and it turns out that we just celebrated the 5-year anniversary. And we started on the first day. We became friends right away, and just as it happens naturally, I found a kindred spirit that I could confide in, and she's always been a really strong, solid figure in my life.
Jared and I were part of that original team, and so I was just reflecting this morning how over the last couple of years, it's like I gained these great friends that are almost like brothers.
We also met Anne through Joyride. She's just been a rock star of a person. We consider both of them kind of our spirit animals, Cindy and Anne.
I think the world is a much better place with both Cindy and Anne in it. I knew that when I put the flash mob together, that especially considering all the time and energy that went into it, not even on my part, but everybody else's part, coming up to the rehearsals for it and practicing, I knew that it was going to be something really special. So when approached and asked if I could, try to capture the moment in a video, I just thought it would be the perfect little keepsake for you and I to look back on, how many ever years later. Little did I know how many people would be looking back on that video, but of course it's really special, and I'm so grateful that Hoopla did everything that they did for us. I don't even know if I did wake up that morning. I don't remember going to bed. My anxiety was probably about an 11 out of 10. And it was a very interesting car ride, especially we had both taught in the morning, and then we drove down to Westport together. So it was very interesting to kind of be sitting next to Jared with my own anxiety, and then kind of have to comfort him because he thinks that he's about to be in the spotlight.
So when I originally walked into the room, they told me that we were shooting a commercial or a web video or something along those lines. So I expected there to be a cameraman. There was a lot of lights, there was a lot of things happening, and I realized that it was a big deal. I just thought it was going to be a really professional looking video. I didn't know what was
It
going.
was a really professional looking
it turned
video.
out it was.
I think everyone in the room was just so high excitement. He came in and thought he was going to get on the lead bike and kind of teach us a few techniques. But then like he looked around and was like, this is really weird. Like, you know, you could just tell that he was like, something's going on here.
We had seen, I think, 2 other instructors who were on the podium, and you know, everything was going as planned. And then once Jared walked up onto the podium and actually got onto the bike, I mean, my heart just sank down to my feet, and I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is actually happening. Like, it's time to get off the bike. It's time to rip off the shirt. It's time to do this. And I could not have been more excited.
It was almost the anticipation of waiting for that moment when it switched over. And Allison said, sit down, Jared. Sit down, Jared. My heart just went boom. And you knew that this is just something so amazing and special.
So as soon as those signs started entering the room, it was almost overwhelming, the feeling of love and the feeling of joy and just excitement. All the thoughts that were going through my head, I was immediately thinking, what's happening? How did he pull this off? Who's going, like, how did my mom get here? How did my niece get here? Like, who else is gonna come out? You know, I'm like thinking all these things to myself.
The way the signs came to be is I knew that I wanted them to tell a story, and I knew that each one had to be really meaningful. So the first one that obviously says, so this guy Adam comes in looking for a job, and then it was our best friends who then said it was love at first playlist. And then obviously it was my parents coming in saying they've always wanted another son, and then his parents with the last one. And I think it told the perfect story of you know, the start to from the beginning to right then and there.
It did.
Every last bit of detail of planning that went into making this happen all of a sudden hit me like a ton of bricks from the time it took me to walk from my bike up onto the podium. So lucky for you, by the time I got to Jared, I think every single last emotion just came flooding into my body, and I apparently held nothing back.
Oh my God.
So I've been told that when you are not looking for the right person will come, and everything in your life will be better. And every day since I've known you, you have brought such happiness to me.
Oh my God.
I don't want to spend another day without you by my side. So I have a question for you.
Oh no. Are you kidding?
When Adam dropped to his knee, it was like one of those moments in life where it's just like there's this calm, and it was just like, this is for real.
When I saw Adam get off the bike, I absolutely at that point knew what was happening. I didn't quite know how it all was going to run down. And then
You didn't run out of the room though.
I didn't run out of the room. And then you reached behind the post of the podium, in front of the podium, pulled the ring out of nowhere, which I don't know how I missed it. I don't know how I didn't see any of these little details in hindsight.
On the video you said, where did you?
How and when?
It was pretty awesome. I definitely knew it was happening, and I was very excited for it.
Everyone was like, did he say yes? Because everyone was crying and cheering because he had dropped to one knee.
Yes, yes.
And then Everybody Dance Now came on, and that's his song. And the sparklers came out and everything, and that was a great, great moment.
How did, yes, I did. The answer was yes.
Little did I know that, you know, God, when it did start to go viral, it was amazing because it was like, wow, like 50,000 people have seen it. And then it's like, oh my God, 300,000 people, and then 1 million, and then the messages started to roll in. For those messages, for each and every single person who has reached out to us, this is something so much bigger than just us, and to be able to share our love with people in other countries who aren't allowed to share the way that we are so freely.
It's important.
Blessed. Yeah. We are truly blessed to have had this experience happen.
It's the power of positivity and the power of social media doing some good.
The common thread was throughout all that was, I'm so happy for you. I hope that someday we'll be able to do this in our country, or I hope that someday we'll be able to celebrate this, you know, the same way. And it just opens up your eyes to how much the world needs more of that.
To be able to give somebody hope like that, it's pretty difficult to put it into words, but it's a pretty special feeling.
One characteristic they both share is just they have huge hearts. They really, and when they saw, you know, how viral it went and how it impacted so many people in such a grand way, I think that the gratitude was really what they felt, was like, boy, you know, we're at the center of this with our story, but just the ripple effect was pretty powerful.
My favorite part of the video is when Jared, he doesn't know what to do with his headset anymore. He's obviously, it's been made clear to him that this is something very special is happening to him. That is by far my favorite part of the video.
I think my favorite part of the video is the thumb point.
I did this.
I love that. It makes me so happy. It's so Adam, it's so cute, and it's just like, it's perfect.
Hey guys, how's it going? Adam and Jared here once again. Welcome to our weekly live stream.
After the success of the video, when Hoopla Ha approached us to document our journey up to the wedding, we both were super excited about it, a little nervous, I think. There's a certain amount of vulnerability that comes along with sharing your life in that way with the world. But we also kind of gave that up when we decided to
Put ourselves out there.
Yeah, to put ourselves out there. So we accepted it, and we were really excited about it. It was a fun journey.
Salute to everyone.
I think that the wedding was absolutely the pinnacle of all the events leading up to starting from the flash mob and the whole journey with the video series and the live streaming and everything that happened along the way. And the day of the wedding, I feel like everything just worked out perfectly. Like the weather was amazing. There's always little mishaps and little things that happen along the way, but I feel like it's funny to look back at.
I have to say, there was a moment that on the day of the wedding, someone had come up to us and said, the day's gonna go by like that. So seriously, at some point in the night, get Jared, you guys take a step out and make sure you take a look in. And I don't think I will ever forget that, ever,
Right.
because looking in on 150 people or 160, however many, just laughing and celebrating.
Dancing and having fun.
You could literally feel the love coming off of, from underneath the tent and just out into the atmosphere. And it was
amazing.
just a really, really special feeling.
Who stole your toy, hen?
It's unbelievable how much changes in 3 years, it really is.
No, a lot has changed though. It's been amazing. If anything, we've grown so much closer.
Tremendously, yeah.
And it's interesting because you hear people say stuff like that, and you just can't imagine what they're talking about until you go through it. And all the little things along the way have just led to this solid
Togetherness,
yeah, which is pretty awesome. I think that's one of the biggest changes over the 3 years is we've become that much closer.
Sure.
And stronger.
Definitely.
All the time, I'm constantly trying to think of ways to surprise this man and trying to think of ways to get him back for the amazing opportunity and the amazing gift that he gave me. Almost every little, every birthday present, every Christmas present, I'm like, did I surprise you? I'm like, did you get it? Did you know that was coming? I'm so excited about it. I'm like constantly trying to get him. So, however, I don't think that anything is ever going to top the flash mob proposal. I don't think that anything is ever going to be a surprise as amazing as that. But in the meantime, I do have a little something, a little surprise for you. It's not quite as big as a flash mob proposal, but I think you're going to find it super exciting.
Wait, what the hell?
And this is for you. For Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
Please and thank you. Mm-hmm. This is for you. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Are you serious? Oh, yes.
We're going to see Kelly Clarkson.
Yes. That's awesome. Oh my God, I love Kelly.
Kelly, if you're watching this, we're coming to see you. So this is just the start of many of the little surprises that you're gonna get for the rest of your life.
Oh,
I promise you. I love you.
I already have everything I need.